Hello everyone, you finally made it here, the last boss of the brand new Wrath of the Machine raid, and I want to really spend a little bit more time on this one because it is the most difficult part of the raid in my opinion, and actually I'm pretty sure everyone can agree it's the most difficult part of the raid, and really it's the most rewarding too because you really do get rewarded for your teamwork here. It's very tough, but you'll pull through with enough time, I promise. So real quick, just to cover this, our light levels in this raid when we completed it were 366 to 371. We only had one guy over 370, and the other five of us were below 369. I was 368. We had like two or three guys at 366. So it is doable at 15 or so light levels below. You just got to make sure that you're playing nearly perfect. You will see in the video at some points my teammates die and we are still able to recover, and death isn't too big a deal in this because of the reses, and holding off the shanks isn't too bad. So let's start from the very beginning. It's going to work very similar to the previous phase of this boss, where everyone's going to split up, two to the right, two to the center, and two to the left. And all you're going to do is just kill shanks for the beginning. Those are the only enemies you will face, are shanks, captains, and servitors, and of course the boss. We'll go over what the boss does later on. So what you're going to do is, on each side, you're all just going to be killing your shanks until the captains spawn. Now, once the captains spawn is where things get a little bit hectic. You're going to want to make sure you take them down very, very quickly and without them causing too much damage, because they can 1 to 2 shot you depending on your light level, and that is very difficult to counter. It gets people panicking, and anytime they're not ready to go, usually will lead to a wipe. So how did my team deal with killing the captains quickly? Basically, we had Celestial Nighthawk and Sunbreaker Suncharged Titans. We had 300 Celestial Nighthawk, and it was able to one-shot the captains, thus leading us able to pick up their Scorch Cannons, just like in the previous encounter. Now, the reason I ran Sunbreaker on this one is because it worked as a good backup. Because I had Suncharge on, I was able to just go up to Captain, mash R1, keep him stun locked, and get the kill very easily. And even if I did have damage taken because I had Cauterize equipped, I was able to completely regen my health and kill the probably biggest threat in the entire encounter. So what happens next after you kill the captain? Oh, real quick, I just want to say I will have a brief overview at the end of the video, so just hold on for that. Again, like I said, I just want to take things in depth first, and then I'll give you the overview. So what happens after you kill the captains and you pick up their Scorch Cannons? Well, it's the same thing as the previous encounter, or the previous phase, I should say, where you have to destroy the servitors. So you destroy the servitors, and they'll drop an orb. It's the same as the previous encounter where you grab the orbs and you throw them at the boss, except this time instead of trying to hit diamonds around the boss's platform, you're hitting the boss himself. And you have to hit these every time. If you miss, it will be an automatic wipe. So you have to make sure you're landing those throws directly on the boss. It takes all three to bring his shields down, and once his shields are down is when you can start dealing damage. So the boss, when you bring his shields down, he's going to kind of hurl over and like crouch, and he's going to teleport to one side of the map. And this is where a new mechanic comes in called empowerment. So being exposed to Siva empowers 3 guardians, and what you're going to want to do is make sure you set up exactly like this. Of the 3 empowered guardians, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 in the center. And the reason you want to do this is because when the boss is ready to take damage, he teleports, just like you see here, and the person who's empowered has to jump onto his back and press square, and it's kind of like slamming the spark in Rift. You slam down on him and he gets stunned. He teleports 3 times, once right after you take down his shields, 2 for the second phase, and then after the third phase. And the thing is, the damage phases are very short, but the third one is the longest, so make sure you really get your damage in. And how did we calculate the damage? Basically, after the very first phase, we wanted him to be, do you see where it says Axis Archon Prime? You're going to want to see the health meter between the R and the C in Archon. After the second phase, you want it less than half, and after the third, around 1/3, if you're lucky, a quarter. Because you do get 5 damage phases total to kill him, with 3 cycles of damage in between each phase. So like I said, it's a little bit hard to explain, so I want to go in depth with it, and I'll have the overview, like I said before, later on. So what type of damage do you have to watch out for? The Shanks, they do kill you fairly quickly, but they are easy to counter. I am using a hand cannon, so I was able to two-shot them, but from what some of my teammates were saying, something like the Hung Jury took 3, maybe even 4 shots to kill some of them. So I really do highly recommend a hand cannon, especially in Ice Luna archetype, because it does two-shot them in basically any range in this arena, and they're very simple to take care of. The hardest sides to cover are the left and the right, and the middle can basically be soloed by somebody who's at least 365 light, even at the 380 light level which this encounter is tuned to. So if you absolutely need to, you can have one guy in the back, which I'm doing in this video, kind of going back and forth, making sure that he helps out wherever it's needed, whether it's building super or creating orbs or just hitting a shank or two here and there. And that's basically it. When you look at it from a topside view, it is very simple. It's very simple in theory, but the part that makes it hard is that if you screw up, if you lose any damage at all, you probably will have to wipe, because with everyone being as underlevel as they are now, because the raid is tuned to 380 light, and most players are around the 350 to 360 range who are attempting the raid, you are going to be sometimes 20, maybe even 30 levels below, and you can't afford to make any mistakes. So let's talk about the overview now. You go in, kill Shanks on your respective side, either the left, mid, or right, with 2 on each side. You kill Shanks until the captain spawns. Once the captain spawns, then you kill the servitor corresponding to the elemental type of the captain that you killed. For example, you kill the solar captain with a solar rocket launcher, you kill the solar servitor. Once you kill these servitors, they drop an orb. Only people who don't have a cannon can pick up the orb and hit the boss with it. You hit the boss with all 3 orbs and he's ready to take damage. Once he's ready to take damage, 3 people randomly become what's called empowered. And what happens is, once the boss is ready to take damage and he teleports to a location, one of these 3 people has to jump onto his back and press square to stun him. And then you can repeat the damage cycle over and over and over again, with a max of 3 per run. And you get a total of 5 tries each. So, like I said, this encounter is very hard to explain simply. I did my best. I hope you guys understood it. If you have any comments or questions about this one, let me know. I can go into more detail in the comments, but this is just for people who maybe hit a snag. They need a little bit of a little push in the right direction to know what they're doing. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. Just remember, make sure that if you pick up a cannon, you can't pick up an orb. Only people who don't have cannons can pick up orbs. That is absolutely very important. Next is make sure you have your people who are empowered standing in very clear spots where they can jump onto the boss's back easily. There are 2 locations in the middle of the map where the boss can teleport to, so the person in the middle has to be ever more vigilant than the people on the sides. And please make sure you always absolutely have 1 empowered person on the left, middle, and right. The thing that makes this difficult is that after every teleport, after every time you stun him, 3 different people get empowered. Sometimes it'll be the same people, sometimes it won't. So always be ready to do callouts and get to know what you're doing. I will be using this gameplay in the background for another video tomorrow, just talking more about the raid, a type of review and such. And yeah, that's it for the video today, guys. I know this one is very hard to follow. I hope it made sense. Like I said before, any comments or questions you have, just reach out to me in the comments. I will answer every single one of them, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to add something I forgot. This is added after the fact, so excuse me if I don't have proper gameplay footage for it. After damage cycles, the boss is going to start a ritual where it will insta-wipe you. And what you're going to want to do is there are 4 platforms on the outside of the arena with little light wells on them. When the boss does enter his ritual to insta-wipe you guys, you're going to want to all gather on one single platform, because every time someone touches one of those platforms, they fall and you can't get them back, and you have no way of being safe. So make sure that after you get your damage phase in, you jump on those outside platforms, everyone on one, and that's how many tries you have. So you have 4 platforms, 4 tries. Make sure you coordinate which one you're going to go to first. For us, it was the far left, and then we progressed a bit further right. But yeah, that's it for the video today, guys. See you again soon. Thank you.